Hey, I'm Scott Devine and I am founder and creator of Scott's Bass Lessons. Today, I'm going to give you a tip that will make you 1,000 times more likely to get gigs, and I'm going to give you 3 essential tips on how to do it. That backing track is free to download as normal. If you want to check that out, if you're watching this on YouTube, check the link out below this video. But if you're watching this on my website, scottsbasslessons.com, the download link is right underneath this video. Now today I want to talk about being versatile. If you're a versatile bass player, you're going to be so much more in demand from bands and band leaders, and you're just going to get so many more gigs if you actually know how to slot in to different styles of music. So I'm going to give you 3 tips on how to make that happen. So tip 1 is listen to the music that you're trying to get into. Now what I mean by that is you've got to be able to find, say for instance you were wanting to learn a bit about Latin music or country music, you've got to be able to source the right type of music, the good stuff to be able to listen to be able to sort of like get it into your playing. Otherwise you might be listening to a whole load of watery crap. You know, if you, for instance, if you go to YouTube and write in Latin music just in the search, it's going to come up with loads of random stuff. So how do you actually find the good stuff? Well, something that I've done is use that YouTube search again, but just search, for instance, try this, okay? Do a search for famous and then country or Latin, okay? So famous country bass players, okay? Put that into Google, for instance, and you'll find that some posts come up with the most listened to country type bass players. Or for instance, search for famous Latin bass players into Google. And again, it'll come up with, I think I did the Latin one actually, and the first article that came up was something like the top 10 most famous Latin bass players. So check out the post and then you can check out the bands that they played in. That gives you an instant way to find out what music, you know, what the good guys are playing. Then just go to YouTube, type in the band name, and you'll have an instant sort of like way in to get into the good stuff and sifting through all that crap that you don't listen to. So tip 2, we'll do that one, tip 2. Tip 2 is transcription. If you're trying to get into a style of music, you've got to learn the bass lines that the good guys are playing. That is the gag, you know, you can't just listen to it, you've got to get it into your playing. So what I'd really recommend is after you find the great bands, the great bass players, then start listening to them and do some transcribing. Now by transcribing, I don't mean writing it out, I just mean, you know, learning the bass lines that they're playing. And what will really take it to the next level with this as well is actually finding the sheet music as well, not so you can see the bass lines, but just kind of a lead sheet, okay? So say if you were trying to sort of like, I'm going to use the Latin example again, okay? So say if you listen to a certain Latin tune, then try and find the lead sheet for that tune, and then you can listen to what the bass player is playing again and look at the lead sheet and then put the two together. So then the next time that you're in a gig, you're playing Latin or reggae or whatever you're playing, you can instantly, you know, you've studied this stuff and you can just plug in and play. Piece of cake. So the final tip for today, tip 3, is immersion. Anything like this, if you're trying to get certain styles of music down, reggae, jazz, pop, funk, you've got to immerse yourself in that music for a certain a certain time frame to really understand it and get that style ingrained in yourself. What I used to do, and in fact I do it now, if I'm trying to really get into a certain style of music, I have a month of only listening to that. You know, so I'll take, for instance, if I was doing jazz, I'd pick an artist or a few artists, and then I'd just listen to that for a month, okay? You could have a reggae month, you could have a country month, you could have a ska month. But the gag is that just you're sort of like immersing yourself in that music, you're transcribing it, you're listening to it, you're checking out the guys, then you're listening to it all the time. Just imagine how that's going to feel at the end of the month. How is that going to feel? You're going to be so much more confident. The next time you're on a gig and somebody says, okay, let's do kind of a tumbao kind of Latin vibe on this, you're not going to be thinking, oh, what is that? You're going to have studied this stuff for a month, just Latin, Now, obviously, I'm not saying that this is going to make you a Latin master or a reggae master, but you're going to be able to take care of business and you're going to have a good idea of what to do when asked for that type of bass line. Okay, I'm not like a reggae master or anything like that, but if somebody says, hey, let's do this groove, we're going to do a reggae vibe on it, I know what to do. I know what people are going to expect. And that is the third tip for today. So there we have it. That's your tip for the day. Now what I want you to do now is comment below this video. Let me know if you've had any experiences with this yourself. Have you been on gigs and not been able to fit into a certain style? Or is this something that you're working on at the minute and want to master? Also, if you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, make sure you do so, then you'll get notified as soon as I upload a video, which I'm doing all the time. And lastly, if you haven't been to scotsbasslessons.com, make sure you get over there right after this video. We are one of the fastest and largest growing communities, bass communities in the world right now, and there's a lot of exciting stuff happening, so get over there, check it out, take it easy and get in the shed.